So the focus of this show is CSS and modern CSS and styling or whatever else. If your site uses ads and you do the normal quote unquote way of adding ads, almost certainly it creates layout shift issues or right off the bat that sort of
Yes.
wreck all of your various
Every
metrics.
optimization you did, you just throw it away because your ads are
Yes.
moving stuff around. The same goes for
Yes.
images, though. If you're not careful with your images, you can
That's
do the
true.
same thing.
If you try to do this with like a quote unquote normal ad, like the default kind of ad HTML that they produce in AdSense, and you try to copy it to your site, it actually won't let you set height and widths. And like it's actually a super pain, and they're generally pretty slow. What I found by far, I used this sort of a little bit in the past, but because of this project, I've been doing some heavy duty testing in different setups and different solutions that people have out there and whatever. By far the best thing I've come up with across is AMP ad. So AMP is a framework that, to be quite frank, you shouldn't use because it was something that Google was pushing for a while, and it provided some benefits or whatever. But it's a lot. It requires a lot to implement, and the benefits aren't necessarily there across the board. But they have a whole bunch of components that they built, and some of them are useful. In fact, actually, the Angular image optimized image component, basically they took a lot of the AMP image code, or like a lot of the concepts, ideas, and sort of duplicated them. And in this case, the AMP ad component, which is, these are all web components, so you can like reuse. You don't need the entire AMP framework to utilize these specific components. But if you use the AMP ad component, it is not only faster than using the default way of bringing in ads, but like you were starting to bring up, Sander, you can actually set the height and width so that you don't avoid the layout shift, which is like so huge. So I'm just going to like advocate as like kind of the last thing here that I was going to say is if use ads, try to switch to using AMP ads.